Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Balmanis. I am coming from Miami, Florida, and along with my colleagues, Dr. Vasteras and Dr. Anshu Arora and Dr. Amit Arora, we are here to do our farewell event to you, but hopefully this is not really farewell, but a closing of one chapter of your experience at X Culture and the beginning of another. And these are your senior coaches and a coach. Ania from the Philippines, just wave your hand. Leon from South Africa. Tejas from India. Emily from the United States and Florida. And Nicole from Canada. And Ankit, you are also from India?
No, I'm from Nepal.
Nepal, from the birthplace of Siddhartha. Correct? Yes. So welcome everybody. And I see that everybody's coming in from Romania, Singapore, the Philippines, Egypt. So welcome everybody. And this is your farewell event. So Dr. Voss,
to introduce Raphael. So I think we're doing.
Oh, and Raphael, well, he disappeared for a second. As you guys know, I'm the director of the Academy program. Of course, Dr. Voss is our founding president. So he's actually the leader in charge, but really the person that does the most work between me and Dr. Voss, right? Is between me, Dr. Voss, and Raphael is Raphael. Raphael is our lieutenant in charge. I call him my number two, and really without him, X Culture Academy would not work as well as it does. So, so this is our team, and I'm gonna give it to you, Dr. Voss, and welcome our group.
Yes, and I will tell the same story that I tell every semester, but that's exactly the message I would like to convey to the next class of graduates from the X Culture Academy program. And so the story goes like this. We have here Nicole from Canada, and I always tell it about Canada, but it happened a few years ago. So there were two friends of mine who were walking through somewhere in the forest in Canada. And so it was right around the same time. And so as you know, in Canada, it's right at the time when the snow starts melting. And so they're walking through that forest and stumble upon a bear. And so the bear is, still hungry, just woke up from the winter hibernation and is, kind of angry and starts chasing those two men. And they're starting to, they're running away from that bear and they're trying to run so fast, but obviously the bear is faster than humans. And so one man says to the other one, he says, "Hey, why are we even running? I mean, there is no way we can outrun a bear." And the other man says, "Well, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I have to be faster than you." And so the point here is that we have completed yet another semester of X Culture Academy program. And the goal was to help you acquire new skills, new experiences, improve your cultural intelligence, make friends around the world, learn about the challenges of working across the time zone differences, cultural differences, institutional differences, and learn the best practices of working with people from different countries. And so did we make you experts in international business better than anyone in the world? Probably not. But did we make you one better than you were before, than you were 4 months ago? We know we did because we have the data. So we know that your cultural intelligence went up. As you know, you took the tests. We know that you are now more motivated and more confident in your ability to work with people from other cultures. Again, we asked you that before and after the project. And so we know that those numbers improved. So we know that you learned something new because we saw your work. And so you acquired hopefully new skills. But more importantly, not even that you became, or I guess it is most important that you became better than you were before, but also soon enough, you will be applying for jobs, you will be applying to colleges, and we'll talk more about that soon. You will be applying for internships, for scholarships, for grants, for funding for your business. And so, yes, you may not be perfect quite yet, but you are now better than most of your competitors. So you now have something on your resume, you have skills, you have experiences that most people of your age or of your background don't have. I mean, again, if you're a high schooler, everybody went to high school, everybody got good grades, everybody had some maybe experience somewhere, but how many of your friends have worked with people from like 5, 6, 7 different countries? How many of your peers prepared a presentation with people from 5, 6, 7 different countries? How many peers of your age worked as consultants for a real business company, for a real business, for a real company and presented and developed a solution to a real life challenge. Probably not many. Again, maybe you didn't do it perfectly, but you've done something most of your competitors didn't. And so this is our goal, to make you better than you were before, and hopefully to make you somewhat better than your competition. Again, you don't have to be much better. You have to be just a little bit faster than, or a little bit better than those who, with whom you're competing for those spots. So congratulations. I know it was frustrating at times. I know it was sometimes difficult. I know you probably had someone in your team who was too bossy or too shy, or maybe disappeared at the most important moment, or maybe someone who was not fluent enough in English, or maybe someone who couldn't write well, prepare the report section. But that's okay. That's the whole point. You will see those challenges again and again and again. And when you do it as part of your job tomorrow, you will know what to expect. And more importantly, you will know what to do about it. So congratulations. It was difficult, but hopefully it was worth it. And here I'm going to put the microphone back in Dr. Baumanis' hand, even though she said I did most of the work. No, when it comes to Academy, I was just observing and enjoying the process. So she did all the work with her team. So I guess Dr. Baumanis, tell us something from your heart.
One, I just want to recognize how amazing my team is. Voss knows this, but Amit and Anshu, you don't know this, but my team fully knows this, because I was working at 2 universities basically full time since January. And I had to sit my team down and say, you guys, I'm carrying so many. I was teaching at the most 8 classes at a time, 3 of which were MBA classes. And I told my team, I'm like, guys, I need your help. I'm drowning. And can you guys pull me out and help me carry Academy this semester? Can I tell you, they did a better job running Academy than if I were there. And so really, this semester goes to my coach. My coach is my team. They did such an amazing job. I mean, okay, some of them were pulling their hairs out. I had some one-on-ones with some people in my team, and they're like, Dr. B, it's a lot. And I'm like, yes, I know. So even they grew in this experience. So I just this whole Academy X Culture experience just makes such amazing people out of all of our students. And really what you said, right, Dr. Voss, that the difficult part, that's the part that makes you grow. That's the part that tests you to see what your capacity is. And you push that capacity a little bit further. And then the next time you push that a little bit further. And then eventually you're accustomed to carrying heavy loads. And people can depend on you because you're that well-trained by the experiences that you've gone through. So for those of you guys who had bad experiences in your teams, be thankful for that, because those are the experiences that you'll be able to, recall later on and say, I remember that. And I remember that kid, and I'm going to meet that personality again. And the next time I'm going to respond in this way, and I'm going to be a better person because of it. So 2 more people joined us. You guys are late. Jaren coming from Malaysia. So Jaren, just wave your hand. And Annette, you're invisible, but Annette is actually my number 2 in my brand ambassador team. And she is coming from Kenya. So hello, everyone.
I don't think we have 2 people from the same country.
No,
I guess we have a few people from the United States here, but we have a Ukrainian American, a Filipino American, Indian American. I guess we have 1 American, but yeah, everybody's from somewhere else. I guess it's not intentional, it just happens. But yeah, we have 12 countries in this call.
Exactly. Our token American is Emily.
yeah. Emily, you are in the minority.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing. Okay, so Raphael, I know you have an agenda for those of you guys who are just joining us, how we run our programs. Raphael puts the agenda on in the chat. So go ahead and open your chat. And we just finished our opening final event. So now the team is going to put together or going to run, I think it's a Kahoot, right, Raphael?
No, it's a game that Tejas and Ania built. So they will present to us.
See,
Oh.
this is what I mean. They built a game. They don't just go to the internet.
And that's exactly, so when Dr. B says that the team is amazing, I guess, I'm in the best position to judge that, because I remember the time when there was no team. Then I remember the time when the team was built, and now when we have, like what was being built, and now we have a team in place. And the difference is just staggering huge. And sort of the next phase, or what I've observed this semester, for the first time now, things are happening without us sort of telling that they need to happen. Last semester, 2 years ago, a year ago, it was primarily, it was done well, but it was done on our directive. So we said, okay, why don't you guys do this? Okay, well, this is how you do it, and they do it. Now all of a sudden they're launching things that we didn't, even, well, I
Yeah.
guess we mentioned it, but we didn't even have the idea. So they come up with the idea and they deliver, and so this
Yeah.
is amazing. So new things are happening. Used to be everything that was happening I knew. Now all of a sudden things are happening that I wouldn't even know how to do, let alone direct it. So yeah,
There's going to be some CEOs of companies in this group, and y'all
Not
better
one.
not forget
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. So
We
yeah,
we need
when
funding.
when you guys make like 7 or 8-figure salaries, don't forget about us. Yeah.
Okay, take it away, guys.
Tejas, Ania? Can you guys
Perfect.
share screen?
Yeah, I'll just do that right away. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Great. Yeah, that's amazing.
What,
All right, so I'll let Ania take it over from here.
Okay, so good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you all. So today we have a know-how game, which is a game of cultures. So how does this game work? This game has 5 segments: languages, culture, behaviors, clothing, festivals, and food. Questions will range from quiz style to challenge based. Go crazy in the chat, typing out your responses.
You will have 30 seconds to send in your response, by the way, just adding that.
So our first segment will be the languages segment. So get ready with all the languages you know. So our first question is, say or type hi in as many languages as you know.
in the comments?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
in the-
specify the language as well?
You don't need to.
Okay.
If you can, that would be great.
Okay.
In the chat.
yeah, in the chat.
How do you say that? I don't know, Ania, you're going to have to be grading me because I have forgotten my Tagalog.
4 seconds remaining. All right, with that, we'll move ahead. We have a lot of responses. I think
Are you going to count how many we did?
I think the
and-
most is from Chris, if I'm not wrong. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. He has 7. I
Yes.
think that's the most. No, wait.
Sada-
that's no,
Sada
that's
has
the number of
58.
responses. So Saida and Chris are the ones with the most responses. Congrats, guys. You guys know your languages well.
Oh, yeah. Ah, yeah.
Oh, wait, which one that Chris said? I didn't read. Where is it?
Chris said, I can't
It's a
pronounce it.
Saida Zana, I think.
Yeah,
I think both have
Ania,
7 responses.
yeah, I should have thought about ciao and bonjour. Yeah. Okay.
Just adding bonjour is not technically hi. It's
Not
good.
hi, yeah. How do they say in French hi? Like, yeah, bonjour.
Salut,
That's,
I think it's salut. SALUT.
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
So next would be say or type I love you in as many languages as you know. You also
Okay.
have 30 seconds.
With that, we're done with 30 seconds. What responses do we have?
I think the most is Vasits, if I pronounce that correctly.
Um,
Vashist, I
But
love you, menu.
yeah, we have a lot of responses, I think.
Yeah.
I think some
For those,
Riddhi
of
has a lot
you,
of
for those
responses.
of you, yeah, for those of you who want to learn how to say "I love you" in Russian, you say "yellow, blue bus." So yellow, blue bus kind of sounds pretty much "I love you."
That's cool. Interesting fact, we don't really have one particular phrase for saying I love you in Hindi, but like we have to like basically string the words together. Like you have je t'aime or te amo in like Spanish, French and Spanish, but like in Hindi, you can say something along the lines of मैं आपसे प्यार करता हूँ, मैंने आपसे प्यार किया. Both of them basically mean the same thing.
So it's like there are many different ways to say it, or
Yeah,
there is no one form.
There's no one particular way that, or at
Yeah.
least kids are not taught one particular way.
Yeah, you can use multiple words in Hindi as well because Hindi has taken words from various languages, right?
That's very true.
Oh, I should have added French. Now I remember je t'aime, I guess, right, in French.
Yeah, yeah, just that.
Yeah. Well, would have not put the number one anyway. So
okay, so next one is say or type good morning in as many languages as you know.
Okay, we're done with 30 seconds and we have a lot of responses. I think
I think the most
I think
is
it's, I think it's again Samridhi's or
Samriddhi.
yeah, probably hers. Yeah.
Oh, I think
And-
that we are missing Vas message because you're sending just to me, Vas. You're not
oh,
sending
that's
to
why that's nobody's praising me. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'll. Oh, yeah. I was like, no, nobody's impressed by my answer. Yeah, okay, but that's it still seems like some people have done more. Yeah.
Okay. With that, let's move on to the last question for the language segment. Say or type thank you.
Yeah.
Raphael, how many languages can you say thank you in?
Arigato, obrigado, gracias, merci. I don't think that I have more.
Share.
You can say it in
Спасибо.
And I think it's grazie in Italian and
Grazie, yeah.
yeah, in Hindi it's dhanyavad. So again, who's won this time?
Samriddhi or
Danke schön,
one
yeah.
a lot.
Could be Amelia as well. Or no, it's
Caroline
Sherilyn.
has a lot.
It's Sherilyn. Yeah, Sherilyn has a lot of responses. With that, let's move on to the next segment of the quiz, cultural behaviors and actions. So let's look at how each culture behaves differently. The first question is, the tugging of the earlobe signifies the appreciation of food in one nation and the refusal to pay for drinks in another. These nations are neighboring. What are they? You have 4 options. You can go ahead and choose which one.
So we just put the letter?
Yeah, just put the letter, go ahead. So we have few people saying A and few saying B.
Actually, I need those questions for the cultural
C.
intelligence test.
That's it.
You're gonna steal them.
Yeah, this one I don't know. Yeah, even though I have a whole book on nonverbal communication across cultures, like literally how these.
And
like
with
this one, I
that, we're
didn't know.
done. Interestingly, Dr. B, he is the
Yeah.
only one who did not stink because the correct answer is C. It's Portugal and Spain.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I just guessed, so I
Yeah.
knew that it wouldn't be somewhere in Asia, but I wasn't sure where exactly. So okay.
Only
Uh,
like few people got that right.
Yeah. All right. this gesture is considered to be a symbol for confidentiality in pop culture, but in one nation, it's an action to caution others. Where is this?
Whoa.
Wow, these are hard questions.
These are hard. I created 4 cultural intelligence tests. I have a database of like 200 of these questions, and that's something I didn't know. Okay, well,
Very impressive. Whoever did the work on it is really nice. I mean, someone really put a lot of energy in that. So great
The
job.
15-year-old and the 16-year-old wrote this.
Amazing,
so guys,
amazing.
your own knowledge, or you actually did some research online?
I did
Like-
research.
Okay, because you're scaring me.
So I see a lot of people have answered D. A lot of people have answered B as well. Well, the correct answer is D, Italy.
Okay.
That's again, Dr. Vash.
Yeah,
Seems like
again,
it has actually
yeah.
paid off.
the deduction method, it just, since I wasn't sure, I kind of figured Italians, there is this joke that if you tie hands of an Italian, the person will not be able to speak, because the way they speak is, pizza pronto, signora, principessa. And so I kind of figured that they must have a gesture for everything, including this one. So
Yeah. Okay, a psychological test conducted to identify behavioral differences between cultures found some interesting results. For example, it found that some nations were way more likely to be home to extroverted people than others. Which one of the following pairs is of a highly extroverted nation and a highly introverted nation? In that order.
mhm. Okay, this one's a little easier. I'll wait until the
Okay, we have a few more seconds remaining. A lot of people answering A and B, and nobody's answering C. I think C was like obviously the outlier. The correct answer is B again. Dr. Vass is on a roll. Brazil and
Well,
Nigeria.
if anyone has been to Brazil, they know that it doesn't get any more extroverted. So
Yeah.
they are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
and
but
Germany-
Nigerians as well extroverted.
No, but like as per the test, I don't know, for some reason they said that they discovered them to be introverted.
This one is also tricky, if I may. Everything is sort of you understand everything in comparison. So, for
Yeah.
example, when you ask Canadians about Americans, they think that they're so different. It doesn't get any
Mhm.
more different. But from the outside, you realize, well, maybe they're not that different.
Mhm.
Likewise, for example, Ukrainians and Russians, we think that we are so different, like completely opposite. But, so
Yeah.
same thing, you can think, okay, my country is very extroverted, for example, but then you go to another country and you realize like, whoa, they're crazy. So I thought, I was extroverted and it's not even close. So
But even within America, you have places like states which are so completely different.
true.
California is so different from Georgia, and you can actually
Yeah,
put them in
absolutely.
extroverted versus introverted category.
yeah, that's very true. Like Texas versus New York, for example, it's like two different.
Oh my God. Or how about New York versus like Alabama?
Yeah,
It's like-
that's.
There you
Well,
go. Yeah.
I think the differences among some American states are greater than differences among some European countries. Like, I'm not even going into Alaska or Hawaii. Those are like completely different worlds, but even within the continental United States, very, very different.
And same here, I've been in 3 different states right now, and living in DC, people
Yeah.
just love to talk, and they talk politics. So whatever you're talking, it comes to politics at the end of the day. And it's not just the politics in the States, it's politics everywhere. So whether
Yeah.
it's Italy or India or China, it's everywhere. So,
Yeah.
I mean, DC people just love to talk politics.
I think
don't
it's all
even think
about
there is
where you
anything
have
like
more
DC.
immigration. So
Yeah.
DC is more like, you've got people from all over the world who are here. So it's like a melting pot, just like New York. So that just makes people open up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, DC, it's a very strange city, right? I don't think there is anything like this anywhere in the world.
I don't think so either. I think it's so diverse. Just getting into the restaurant and looking at people, you find different accents. I mean, I was amazed. The first time I came to DC was like, oh, wow, you can identify with different cultures right in DC. So it's a beautiful.
Yeah, of all the big
melting point
cities,
or whatever,
DC
melting
is
pot.
unique. Yeah.
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 and no
that's
one
right.
knows proper English.
Oh, that's even better.
So that's such a good thing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you literally have embassies of at least like 170 countries, probably, right? Possibly like
Absolutely.
180 because there are like what 185. So, and yeah, this is an amazing place.
Yep. Yep.
Tejas, go. You guys are going to throw us off our schedule.
No worries.
But you're enjoying this section the most, I guess.
Our kids
Okay,
are
now let's move on to something that a lot of you might be interested in, clothing. So as you all know, clothes are different all around the globe, and let's look at various traditional costumes from around the globe. So over here, you have 3 different traditional garments, and you have a selection of nations. You have 30 seconds to match the photos to the corresponding nation.
Wow, this is a good one. Okay, I'll try.
We have somebody saying Japan, India, USA, Indonesia, India, Germany. Second one is India, as per Rabia. Indonesia,
Yeah,
India,
this
USA,
last one is tricky. I mean, can be just about any
Indonesia,
European.
India, Germany. The correct answer is Indonesia, India, Germany. So good job, Dr. B.
Uh-huh, impressive.
Yeah.
Huh, this is a good one. This is an amazing.
Okay, now this is from the virtual tours. This should be a little bit easier. Match the nation to the corresponding image. So these are the 3 nations that we covered in our virtual tours. And
Oh, you did, yeah.
they're 3 traditional costumes.
Huh.
But you gave us 3 countries, so you just put it in order?
Yeah, you put it in order.
Well,
This match.
yeah, so the trick is the last 2. I mean, you have to be.
Okay.
Hmm.
And with that, your time has elapsed. I think a lot of people got the first one right. The first one is obviously Romania. The second one is India, and the third one is Ethiopia.
Yeah,
Hmm.
see,
That's right. Yeah.
But I
Most of
sent
us
it
got
to
it.
Voss.
Yeah, no, that's a very good one. That's
Yeah, that was
actually
nice.
that would be a good also exercise for the cultural intelligence test. Yeah, so like for the knowledge part.
We're stealing all of the.
I like the way you picked up India because that's actually South India. So that's
Yeah.
not really the entire
Yeah.
India because people wear pants and they wear all kinds of stuff, but that's what he picked up is actually southern part of India. So great
Yeah,
job.
India is tricky. You know, they put Estonia, and even Estonia has variations from region to region, and then they put India. I mean, we are talking about like 16 official languages and probably another 50, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good.
But maybe they considered the actual region where the presenters were coming from, because our 2 presenters for the virtual tour were coming from the same place.
Yeah. It's just we were saying that there are different regions of the United States, cultural regions, and I can only imagine how much more different it is in India with so many more people and subcultures.
Exactly.
And with that, we'll move on to what's the next segment? Festivals. And I'll pass it on back to Ania.
So next are festivals, as they just mentioned. So first question. So where is this celebrated? This is a gigantic mud festival taking place annually, and the hint is it is the birth nation of Taekwondo and Kimchi.
Okay.
Oh, I keep sending it to Voss. Oh, analyst.
Oh, yes, yes, and I'm sending it to you. So, oh, okay, that's why. Okay. I didn't know about the mud festival, but yeah, you sort of gay away with the kimchi and taekwondo.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit obvious. The answer is South Korea. So yeah, good job to almost everybody, I guess.
Next one is, this is an air guitar festival, and this nation is home to the Angry Birds and one of X Culture's client company. You just have to make a wild guess now.
Singapore again, Russia, Finland, Japan, Brazil. Interesting guesses.
Guitar festival.
The other is also saying Finland.
Finland with a question
So who came
mark.
up with Angry Birds? I mean, so it was not an American thing? So I don't know, probably not.
Yes,
then, I
you'll
guess.
find out. It was not actually. It's a Finnish thing, and actually they have
Oh.
Angry Birds World in Finland as well.
Actually,
think-
yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's right outside Helsinki. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. It's very possible. They did win the Eurovision with this crazy guitar. I forgot the name of the band, but yeah, actually that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
And our final question is commonly played during one of the most important festivals in Asian countries. This festival is held in mid-September and it signifies the autumn harvest. What is the name of the festival or game? The Chinese character is Nongli, 15th day of the 8th month. Technically Chinese calendar.
Trying to remember.
I see a lot of people guessing.
If you get both the game and the festival right, that's really impressive.
Okay, I think they're only guessing the festival.
Somebody got it. Yeah, I think, yeah.
The game is not really known to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Though.
It
It's
seems
only
to-
a
Basically, they don't.
thing, Filipino-Chinese thing.
Okay, with that, your time is elapsed for this question, and the answer is Mid-Autumn Festival, Mooncake Festival, and then Moon Festival or Dice Game. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Um,
You know how I know about this festival? On Netflix, they actually have a cartoon of the Moon Festival, and it shows the food and how they celebrate. So for those of you guys who have Netflix, look that up. And it's in cartoon, and it talks about the story of how the Moon Festival legend, right, was actually originated.
That's really cool. And with that, we'll move on to the last segment, food.
Ooh.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yes, I think all of our favorites. Okay, this is based off of the virtual cooking shows we had. Which one of these is not a component in making check pies? So for those of you who weren't there to attend our virtual cooking shows, this might be a little bit difficult. But for the others, I expect you all to get this right.
But you should have attended, right?
Yes, you should have.
That was one of my days off, darn it.
No,
You
I
should
think
watch the
both of you were
recording.
there. I think.
The pies. No, that was the one that Dr. Voss attended.
Ah,
Partially, but yes, it was a good one. Yeah.
okay, with that, your time has elapsed. And I think a lot of people got it right. Yes, there is no crumble as per the recipe. Okay, I'm just going based off of the recipe cards that they had provided us with, not going off with anything else they might have done during the virtual cooking show.
Yeah, the cooking shows this semester were very professional.
Oh, yeah.
They were
And
done
with
so
that,
well.
we have the final question. The ingredients for the milk tarts
Sorry.
have not been the ingredients to that of
Sorry,
the show.
Tejas, the host of that particular show says you need all of them. I've just seen Elena's comment.
Okay, Elena, it was not there in your recipe. I'm sorry, I understand, but it was not there in your recipe.
I made the infographic. Crumble was not there.
Oh, so you made the infographic. It's Ania's fault. Do not ask me.
Crumble was not there. Crumble was not submitted to me whatsoever.
It's not my fault. It's Ania's fault.
It's
Okay,
my
whoever,
fault. It was not submitted to me.
fair enough. Whatever. We will move on to the next question. The
Okay, now
ingredients
this
of the
gets
milk tart
complicated.
had a lot of similar ingredients to the churros and the tortillas. What was one ingredient that was not common? Again, going off of the recipe card that I was given, not going off of the virtual cooking show.
Now, Dr. B, don't you find it a little too complicated at this point?
Yeah, you guys.
Okay,
I think no, wait. Those on Discord will definitely be able to find all these because it's all over Discord right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of obvious. Like just tortillas.
Okay, wait. Evaporated.
Churros and tortillas,
I know some people here are on Discord. Don't cheat. Come on, don't cheat.
evaporated milk.
Well,
So there is one more.
Leon, I think you got it, girl. Yeah.
She did.
Actually,
Everybody
yeah.
else did as well. The answer is cinnamon. Again, I do not know if you included it in your recipe, but it was not there in the card that I was given. So yeah, with that, that was the end of the game. Thank you everybody for playing along.
Thank you.
I won copies of those questions for the test. So
Yes. Amazing. Okay, Raphael, I do believe that our keynote speakers are next, correct?
Yes, that's correct. You can introduce them.
So actually, I'm going to ask Dr. Voss to introduce both Dr. Aurora Anshu and Dr. Amit Arora. Dr. Anshu Arora and Dr. Amit Arora. For those of you guys who want to know, yes, they're married to each other.
Yeah, and I'm glad we are, because sometimes it creates a problem. So who's Amit, who's Anshu?
It's an A family, so everybody in that family has a name that starts with an A.
Yeah.
I don't think the kids ever had a grade that was lower than A. And so they won pretty much every competition, you know, spelling bees, science competitions. You can say a lot about people by their children or parents by their children. And so I've met both boys. I've never seen such talented, diligent, hardworking people. And especially what impresses me about the boys, and again, it tells you a lot about the parents, how much they like each other and love each other. Like my kids or my friends' kids or my neighbors' kids, they always fight. And these two, somehow they don't, even though they're boys. So very impressive. I don't know how it happened, but so an amazing family. But yes, Dr. Amit Arora and Dr. Anshu Arora are some of the probably in top, I don't know, 10, 20 in the world in international business, generally speaking. And so much of their research sort of spans boundaries. So they do research, like, for example, some of the research they do is sort of on the cross section of, for example, robotics and culture. Like, who would have thought that you can combine those things? But they've done some research where they looked at, for example, how people from different cultures perceive humanoid-like robots. And so it's a very interesting mix of researchers, and that's where some of the innovation comes from, because most of us do, you know, teams, you know, thousands of us. But here we're looking at something very, very innovative, something very different, something very sort of engaging, insightful. And so plus, again, they've organized several, I believe, of the Academy of International Business events, notably one in Savannah a few years ago, but then another one, several, you were very closely involved. So not only they are researchers, educators, but also sort of administrators or play a you know, key role in the Academy of International Business. And then also now they're helping us to launch the new program, in fact, leading the new program that we haven't come up with the name quite yet. So we'll see what we'll call it, but one that will be helping students, graduates from the X-Culture Academy program apply to colleges and get into good colleges. In fact, not only they know how the game works, their own son got into arguably in some disciplines, definitely #1 in the world, but on any ranking, probably in top 5 in the world, Georgetown University, so an elite school. And so again, the kid is so talented, it was probably easy to get him there. The parents just had to watch, but still, I kind of believe that, you know, some of the parents' sort of wisdom and guidance went into this process. So I guess that's my long introduction.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Vas. Thank you, Lalani. It's a wonderful thing to be here, really, and talking to this bunch of wonderful, lovely kids. You know, the future of our country and the future of the world is really safe with these guys. So thank you, guys, for doing a wonderful job today. Well, I know Vas introduced me with my kids first, so obviously they come first for me. Araman and Amay, those are their names. Araman is 18-year-old and Amay is 15. So much of you guys, maybe a younger of, like, I'm a mother to those two kids, and it's really a proud moment when Vas was introducing them, because, you know, it means a lot as parents. And of course, I could see the potential in you all too, because I'm sure you will get into multiple colleges one day, and then you'll have a choice to make. And it's going to be a good, you know, the world, like the first world problem, like which college to go to, right? And such a good things to talk about. I know Vas has been a mentor to my kids, and it's really amazing to see their growth. And I'm sure we will do the same thing with you guys as well, right? With that said, I'm not going to waste too much of my time and your time, basically, and I'll start with the keynote, right? So let me just quickly share my screen. Can I do that, Lalani or Raphael?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Can you see my screen at the moment?
Yes, I can.
All right, guys. Well, so the topic that I thought of today was reimagining and reinventing higher education. So does college really matter, right? Because that's the big thing that we talk about in America, at least, where people say, hey, college is not for you. Maybe you do the job and be happy with that. So that's a big question that I'm going to talk about today. Who am I? I'm Dr. Anshu Arora. I'm the Associate Professor of Marketing and the Director of National Science Foundation funded Logistics and International Trade Analytics Center of Excellence at the School of Business and Public Administration at the University of District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. And this is my email address that's right here. That's my first name, Anshu, the last name Arora @udc.edu. So just in case, if anyone wants to reach out to me or have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love to answer questions from any of my students, right? And again, you're more than welcome to email me after my presentation. Well, a little bit about myself, and that's basically just to show you how interdisciplinary my career or my academics has been. So I started as an engineer. So I'm an electronics and telecommunications engineer. I did my MBA in marketing, PhD in marketing and technology. Even my dissertation topic was very, very, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. It was consumer navigation behavior in hypermedia computer mediated environments in the Indian context. I'm a project management professional, and I do have certain other qualifications or degrees or certifications as well. Going on to the academic side, again, it's been really a journey in terms of academic thing myself, in terms of my career. I joined UDC, or the University of the District of Columbia, University of the District of Columbia, the UDC School of Business and Public Administration in August of 2018 as Associate Director of Marketing, Associate Professor of Marketing. Prior to that, I was in Wilkes University in Pennsylvania, Savannah State University in Georgia. I've been visiting professor at IC Paris Business School in Paris, France, at University of California, Davis, at Thunderbird School of Global Management, which is Arizona State University now, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, which comes under the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in India, and then Japan South Asia Forum. So again, it's very multicultural, and I'm so happy to see that today, you guys presented about different cultures, and I sort of have been exposed to those cultures. This is a quick thing again, and this again related to my interdisciplinary career, because I recently got a grant from the National Science Foundation in Washington, in Virginia. We call it Washington, D.C. because it comes in D.C. Metropolitan area. But the National Science Foundation is all about science. It's all about STEM. It's all about science, technology, engineering, and math. But we at the business school at UDC received this first grant from the National Science Foundation because it happened to be a STEM business focused grant where we are looking at logistics and international trade analytics courses at UDC. And that's what, NSF found it very interesting, very unique, very different. And so we got the grant. Again, recently, in fact, and this is something which I wanted to share with the group, and I know Vas talked about it, since I've been working on social robotics with Amit and with Vas, we recently got a second grant from the National Science Foundation in the field of social robotics as well. And again, I think I'd like to thank my interdisciplinary career and my interdisciplinary education to a great extent, because I can relate to engineering and science, and then also to business and social sciences at the same time. All right, that was enough about myself. So I'm going to proceed a little further now. My thing has got stuck. Oh, there we go. Now let's come to the big question. And that is reimagining higher education. And we all talk about American dream, right? We talk about college, and we talk about, which college to go to in America, and then in Canada, and maybe some other part of the world. But of course, the big thing is American dream. And then there's a big question, is college for everyone? And here's some stats that I really wanted to show you. This is a bunch of professors at Stanford University, Dr. Sherry and his colleagues, and they have been talking about fading American dream. And what they are talking about is that, your chances of doing well or better than one's parents, if you were born in 1940s, or you are actually from 1940s, like the baby boomer generation, then it was 90% chances that you will do better than your parents. But if you're born in 80s, like the millennials, right, then your chances of doing well or better than your parents have reduced to 50%. Now, how did that happen? Maybe the economy changed. We have the post-World War II era, and all of that contributed to the reduction of the chances. So one can argue that there have been reasons that this happened. But this is yet another statistic, and this was something that I found very interesting, because this really caught my attention in the sense that, there's this big American dream that we talk about. And really, if you are in the bottom part or the lower socioeconomic strata of the society, like if you're poor, then what are your chances of making it to the higher strata or the higher reaches of the society? Well, your chances in America is 7.5%. whereas your chances in Canada of making it big is 13.5%. So I'm not trying to sell here America or versus Canada here, but I'm really trying to say that Canada has been kicking our ass in terms of, following the big American dream, right? And I don't know what went wrong, because really, I always thought it's a reverse, but it's not, right? And so Canada definitely has been giving us a hard time for our American dream. And again, how did that happen? Well, there can be arguments, dialogues, and debates. One would can say that we need people in elite colleges, in the tier 1 colleges, or the Ivy Leagues, because we only have 1% population there. But is that really true? Is that really what the real thing is? Well, let's find out. All right, so here's an example of a biography that I was reading about this doctor. His name is Theodore Leslie Devies. As you can see, he is the Vice Dean of Clinical Affairs and the President of the Clinical Practice Association. He's a professor of radiation oncology and the molecular radiation sciences, one of the best known in the country. And he is at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. Now, if we talk, so while reading about his biography, what I realized was, this guy started very, very, very poor. And again, not prepared at all. He didn't go to the high schools that really prep you for college. He went to a normal high school, right? Like a real lower background high school. He was a first generation college going student in his family. Again, not prepared. When he went to the college, he went to the lower level college. He went to, I think, not even tier 3. It's actually the Metropolitan University of Denver. And he even took a remedial math when he started. He took 6 years to complete. He took he worked multiple jobs. And again, went to the auto shop and all things. The point I'm trying to make it here is that this guy is a well-known, the most best doctor, cancer doctor in the country. But his beginnings have been very humble. And he really, one would say that he would, if you were to meet him in his early childhood, you would not even predict that he's going to be something who would made big in this particular world. But he did, right? And he did because, the colleges that he went to, even though they were not tier 1 or Ivy Leagues, but they prepared him for a good degree or a good career, right? And that's what America is all about. That's what the American dream is all about, right? Let's talk a little more. And here, really, I want to spend a little time talking about this, because here, again, we keep talking about, is college for everyone? And again, I've seen people talking about it all the time, where they say, hey, you know what? College is expensive. It's completely out of touch. It's not for everyone. And then, people say, hey, you know what? After 12th grade or after your high school, you have a job. So forget about college. Maybe take an associate's degree and not even think about college. But is that really true? Is that what the rich people, are telling their own kids? Well, we know that for sure that they're not, because again, if you've seen the scam, the college scam that happened in America, right? There are those rich people who have ended up in jail because they were using that $500,000 for getting into the college, the side door to the colleges, right? Which means that people know that colleges matter. And that's again, the kind of dialogue that we hear, especially in America, is, okay, you have a job, forget about college. So that's where the truth really here has to be, this myth has to be broken. And the truth is that college does matter, higher education matters. So as they say, you're entitled to your opinions, but you're not entitled to your facts. So in today's world of globalization, you really need the higher degree to reach out to the highest strata of the society. It doesn't matter whatever economic strata you belong to, but that higher degree will get you to the highest possible strata in the society. What happens here is, if you go to the college and you really end up with a great degree and a great career, exponentially your earnings will be much higher. You might be earning millions more over your lifetime. You have better health outcomes. You have better health outcomes, you have better pension benefits. And obviously, the right thing then to do is should go to college, right? And I know people here in this particular forum are all motivated to go to college. But when I'm talking about college for everyone, I'm talking about this basic question, and I'm talking about the bigger part of the world, and especially America, where people belong to different strata of the society as well. Here we have more stats here. So again, coming to the big question, is college for everyone? Well, college education is needed, as we can see. It's good for America. It's good for the economy. You give more than what you draw out of it. You're more likely to pay in the system rather than you're drawing out of it again. And again, there was yet another statistic that was very, very interesting, where I saw that it says if you are in college and you have this 4-year degree, and of course the master's it as well, you are more likely, or you are 4.9 times less likely to end up in jail. So again, not something that I was looking forward to, but really, I mean, this was something great, right? And that's exactly what we need college for. Let me show you a little more stats. So here is something that I thought was very, very interesting when I was looking at it. And this is basically, if you were born in 1980s, right? If you're a millennial, and I'm talking about the CEOs of today's big business world, right? Whether you talk about Mark Zuckerberg or any of those guys, they must be born in 1980s, right? So on a conservative state education, like a state college, you must have spent about $800 a year that you can see here in your tuition or fees. That means you must have spent like $3.10 an hour, which basically means you took about 6.5 weeks to cover your tuition, especially when you're born in 80s, right? But if you were born in if you go to college in 2018, 2019, right? That's the year that we're looking at. And I'm not even counting 2020 because of the COVID and things have changed a little bit. But in that year, you would have spent about $10,230 a year for your tuition and fees, which means $7.25 an hour, which means you would have taken 35 weeks to only cover your tuition. Right? And what does that mean? What basically that means is that literally not enough hours in a day or years in a, or weeks in a year to work out your way to college. So basically things have changed, as you can see from these statistics alone, from 1980s to 2018, things have drastically changed. Now, why did that happen? And again, I was trying to investigate what happened and what changed over these years, like from 80s to 2018. Well, what happened was that in 1980s, there was an angel investor. And the angel investor was actually the American people. Because we know that college education is expensive. And basically the American people, and I'm here just giving you the example of the state of Colorado, they invested about 63.4% of the money in the student's education, where the student was only paying 36.6. And if I talk about the entire America, the number was anywhere from 60 to 80% by the state system, and the student pays about 20 to 40%. And over the years, what has happened is something that's called the systematic disinvestment, where things have completely changed around. And suddenly we realize that the students are paying much more. They're paying about 60 to 80% of the cost, while the state system only covers about 20 to 40%. So it's completely the reversal that's happened here. And I am not okay with this particular thing, because what it really means is that we ourselves, we got the American dream, but we actually pulled up the ladder for our future generations because of this particular graphic that's changed completely. Your people are now ending up in more debt. Education has become so expensive. And on the top of it, we tell our students, go ahead, follow that model where you have to finish the education as quickly as possible. You don't work to the college, just go full time. And that may not work for everyone. Well, if you guys, your parents are paying for you, great job. Finish your education as quickly as possible, get your job and get into the workforce as quickly as possible. But here I'm talking about the majority of America, where the debt is a huge problem, where the system, needs some kind of investment from the American people, where things need to reverse from the graphic that you see out here. And again, if parents are paying, again, graduate early as soon as you can. But if your thing is paid, if you have to pay for things, and of course, you're looking at doing a part-time job, you're looking at something that Theodore DeVries, the person that I just showed you, that's the model that you might be using. That's where you have to work your way to college, and may not just think about the number of years, but think about that you're getting that degree at the end of the day. And so what it really means here is that college does matter. And, what can we do to fix these things? You can see that there's definitely a problem. And the big things that we can do here is basically, let's fix this. Legislators, taxpayers, let's invest in our future. This graphic needs to change. We need more investment by the American system, and less by really the students, so that no debts are carried forward by the students. And the other thing is the pushback on the narrative that when people tell you that college is not for everyone, ask them to think again. Because it really, when you go to college, you're making yourself more competitive, you're making the society to be more robust, more healthy, and basically everybody needs opportunity. So again, with this, I'll just say, yes, college is for everyone and college is needed. You need to have college to get that higher degree, to get the best place in the society and to prove yourself. And I think with this, I'm going to give it to Dr. Amit Arora, who will talk to you more about the skills that are needed for getting you into the college. So Amit, you're next. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Right. Thank you, Anshu. And
Stop sharing.
Oh, great, you all set. All right. Yeah, so thanks, Anshu. Thanks, Vas, for that beautiful introduction, for the kind introduction, and kind introduction about our kids too. I'm so glad that they're not around to listen to all this. They're actually sleeping. It's a Saturday morning, so I think they're sleeping. So, yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amit Arora. I'm an associate professor of supply chain management and logistics at the University of the District of Columbia in Washington, DC. I don't have any slides, but I'm just going to talk about a few things. So yesterday I was sitting with my elder son, and I asked him that, so he's a freshman in Georgetown University, and I was asking him, hey, so I have to give this, little talk tomorrow. I'll be talking to these bright young kids. So, and I want to talk about, some skills that you acquire in college. Why do you really attend college? So I ended up having a good conversation with him, and he ended up asking me, what are the skills that you did not acquire when I was in college? So it was a mix of all this conversation, and I just jotted down a few bullet points, and I thought I'll share this with all of you about a mix of skills that you acquire, that you should acquire in college, and some of the skills which I wish I had acquired when I was in college and I did not. So a brief introduction about myself. So I was born in India, born and raised in India, and I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering in India. And as soon as I finished my undergrad degree, I wanted to work in a dream company, and my dream job was to work in the automobile industry. So that was late 90s, 97, 98. That's when the Indian economy was actually opening up to the world. And we had all the big automobile manufacturers who opened up their manufacturing plants in India. So it was a great opportunity to work with some multinational corporation. I joined as a trainee engineer. I joined Hyundai Motor India. It was a 100% subsidiary of Hyundai Motor Korea, and worked there for a few years. And I was going up the corporate ladder. I decided to do my master's. So I did my master's in energy and environmental management in New Delhi. And then I switched jobs. I started working for Honda Motor India. So I worked in the industry for about 10 years in India. And then we decided as a family to make a big shift, move to the United States. I came over here. I thought, I have a good work experience. I've got 2 degrees. So it should not be a problem getting a job for me. We ended up here in 2008, middle of the Great Recession. No one was willing to sponsor or hire. Plan B was to go back to college full time. So I enrolled myself. I got accepted at a PhD program at Georgia Southern University in Georgia, and ended up doing my PhD. And then I switched careers from the corporate world to the academic life. And I've been in academics, and I love my job. I've been here in academics for the last about 7 years now. So that's a little bit about myself. Coming back to the skills, which is very, very important. So a few things I jotted down. Number 1, presentation skills. Very, very important, and which I think I did not acquire when I was in college. So as I just told you, I was an engineering student, and in that we were just busy doing lab work, doing experimentation, making reports and submitting all that, right? We never had the opportunity to make any presentations in front of our peers or in front of our professors. So the first presentation I remember I actually made was when I joined the workforce, when I was working at Hyundai Motor. So I was a trainee engineer working in the company-owned workshop where all the engineers used to get trained. I was a trainee over there, and in the middle of, after a few months, the workshop manager, now he was a big shot, the general manager of the workshop, he resigned, and there was no one leading the workshop. So I was chosen because I was the only one in the workshop who had a 4-year college degree. So I was chosen to head the workshop for a few months till a replacement could be found. And there was a dealer conference that took place, where we had all India dealers of all the general managers of all the dealers workshops. They assembled and they had to make presentation. And obviously I was leading the company-owned workshop. I had to make a presentation for the workshop operations. So I made my first presentation ever in my life. I survived. I did fine. But then I realized that I wish I had this opportunity to make these presentations while I was in college, so I would have been better prepared. So this is one skill which you will acquire and you should acquire while you are in college. The presentation skills, they are very, very important. Whether you are going to make an academic presentation, whether you will join the workforce and become the CEO of some company, presentation is something that is going to be there with you. So that's one important skill that all of you should really acquire. In the college, you also get a chance to enroll in some random class. Now, my undergrad degree was in India. I did not have that luxury to enroll in courses which I really wanted to. Right, I was an engineering student, and we had a cohort system in India. So there were a fixed number of classes. You just enroll in those classes, and you had no other choice. But when I came to US, I got to know that there's so much more flexibility. Right, you have a chance to enroll in a random class. And let me give you an example. So of Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs, we all know, he was the founder and CEO of Apple. And during one of his commencement speeches, I was listening to his speech, and he revealed that he dropped out of college. And then after that, he had a lot of freedom to really, enroll in classes which he really wanted to. And he ended up enrolling in a calligraphy class at the Reed College in Oregon. Had he not attended that calligraphy class, which had nothing to do with what he was doing, the world would not have those beautiful fonts, the sans serif and all the other different fonts that we have. So the idea of those fonts came to Steve Jobs while he was enrolled in a random class of calligraphy at Reed College. Right? So that's one thing that you get to do, especially if you're in the US, you enroll in a college in the US. College is also, it'll give you a safer environment to take risks, which you probably would be a little hesitant once you enter the workforce. You may end up getting a C in some class, but then at least you can take a chance. It's a much safer environment, right? There's so many opportunities. You can join those stock market clubs or those business clubs, entrepreneurship clubs, right? Where you get some seed money and you are encouraged to take those risks. So that's one opportunity I think that everyone should avail of while you are enrolled in college. Some other things, collaboration skills, which I know all of you have actually acquired while being in this X-Culture Academy. Once you enter the workforce, you really don't have the luxury of choosing your teammates, right? You'll be just thrown into some random team, and you'll have to work with those people, whether you like them or not. And I'm so glad that X-Culture actually offers you that opportunity before you even enter the college, right? You get to know about the free rider problem. No one works equally in a team. Some are workhorses, they'll take the lead, they'll be the group leaders. Some would just be the free riders. And believe me, this is what happens when you enter the professional world too. You have people who will not put in that much of effort. And there'll be some people who will take up the slack and just make sure that the results are there, right? So you acquire the skill in college, and I'm so glad that you've already acquired the skill while working on X-Culture projects. Writing skills, communication skills, very, very important. Whether you will be a college professor, whether you will be in the industry, writing skills are so important. Report writing, how to make those bullet points and just to the point. No one has time in the industry, right, to read a 15-page paper. Everyone is looking for an executive summary, a one-page summary, right? So you acquire those skills in college, whether you have to write an academic paper, which is about 15 to 20 pages long, or whether it is a one-page summary report, which you have to present to the CEO of the company, right? So these are some of the skills that very, very important that you need to acquire during your college years. Some other skills like independence, you get to be independent. I studied in a boarding school. So right from my standard 7, I've been in a boarding school. So I learned to be independent very early on in life, before even I was a teenager, right? But most of the people probably, they get that independence while they get to college. So that's very, very important skill. It's always good to go away from your home, far away from your home, far away from your parents, in a college where you can be totally independent and learn things and try to survive all the hardships that you probably have. Things are much easier now. When I was in school, there were no cell phones or anything, so surviving was much more difficult. Now everything is at your fingertips, so survival is much easier. So you all have that luxury, but still, moving away from the parents and learning how to live independently, that's an important skill that all of you will acquire when you are in college. There are lots of other things, but I know we don't have too much of time. But yeah, one more thing I would like to talk about. When you're in college, make sure once you reach that legal age, try a beer, definitely, and make some friends, make some connections over a chilled beer, right? Many of you will become CEOs of companies, so that network is very, very important. Making that network while you are in college, who knows, 5 years or 10 years from now, you might just bump into your college mates again. And so keep in touch with them. Because they are the ones, they are the futures. You are all the future, right? You will be leading the industry, leading the country a few years from now. So that network connection is very, very important, right? So yeah, that's it from me. And I'm so glad that X-Culture is really preparing all of you, the skills that you are going to actually acquire in college. Many of the skills are being acquired in this X-Culture Academy. And I think you all have a bright future, and good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Well, one thing I'd like to add, and that's something that I've seen with my son, Araman, when he was applying for colleges last year. And that is, you need to talk about X-Culture. That's something that you should be talking about when you face any and every interview. I remember he was interviewed by Princeton, he was interviewed by Duke, and he talked about X-Culture, and suddenly the interview went really his way. He got into Duke, and of course he got into Georgetown. But of course, and then some other colleges as well. But one point I'm trying to make is when they see that skill in you, when they see that you can work with multicultures, diverse cultures, the time zone differences, the cultural differences, you are culturally sensitive, and you're a global citizen, things go your way. I mean, they will definitely look at your profile one more time. And that's exactly what you want. In that millions applications that go to college, a person looking at your application at least twice gets you into the door. So basically, that's what you should be doing. And I think you are an amazing team of people. You know exactly what to do. But things like this definitely help you. Let me ask you one more thing. How many of you are seniors in high school? The 12th graders here.
So in some countries, it may be called differently. Basically, how many of you will be graduating high school within the next year?
Yeah, just put your name in the chat if you are graduating in the next year.
And then I have a follow-up question. Do you have a school in mind? Do you have a college in mind? Where do you think you will end up? Or is there a dream college or dream school that you have in mind? Because in
So,
America,
yeah.
go ahead.
Put your name in with your dream colleges on mine in the chat, please.
So yeah, in America, we call it like target, and then we have reach, and then safety. So basically, you know, when I know, especially with our kid, when he was preparing for the colleges, we always tell him, put yourself in that, have those different lists ready for you. Safety is where you know you'll 100% get it, right? So that college list should be there with you. And then you have the target, right? Where you actually, again, you have a 50-50 chance. You know, you might get in because you have a great GPA score and you have a great SAT score. But then there are other factors. Remember, the college is all about the holistic experience. So that 50-50 is a target. And the reach is where you don't know whether you'll get it. Like I'm talking about the Ivy Leagues, Harvard, Princeton, you know, UPenn. And again, but you definitely want to try. So you should have always consider from that mindset that you have a safety colleges, you have target, and then you have reach, right? So think about that and then maybe be realistic. Okay, this is my dream school, but I also love, let's say University of Florida. I also love something else. So, you know, if you're writing yourself, please write about your dream school and the college that you think you really, you know, you can end up to. So let's see how many responses do we get.
Yeah, it's going to be in the chat. Okay, so just to try to stay on our schedule here, we're going to be doing a recap of our X-Culture experience. And of course, we have a photo album, which I don't know who, Raphael, I don't know who's in charge of that. But in the very end, we are going to announce one fully paid coaching program tuition and 2 subsidized. So, and what we did, our coaches actually came together and decided as to who would be awarded a fully funded coaching tuition and then 2 subsidized. So Raphael will announce that at the very end. But now continuing on, let's do the recap of X-Culture experience.
If I may add, since we're talking about stipends, Coach Grifoni confirmed that next summer they will be inviting 2 X-Culture students for 4 months to Italy, fully paid for an internship. So they wanted to do it this summer, but it seems like with the pandemic, it's still impossible to travel. But so we'll go through some sort of a selection process. We'll see how it works. But yes,
amazing.
You want to spend 4 months at a place, at a winery that makes one of Italy's best wines. So that's your option.
Okay, let me say it a little bit more romantic than you, Vas. Okay, in a vineyard in Tuscany, in the south of Italy, for 4 months in a beautiful landscape. That's exactly what it is. I mean, we've been there, and it's absolutely glorious. So that's exciting. Okay, Raphael.
But can I apply for it too?
Why not?
Okay, so let's continue. I will share my screen. You share you guys a video presentation that we did to recap our semester. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Oh, wait a minute, if there is no sound here, wait a minute, share sounds. Okay. I think that's on. I hope you enjoy.
All right, so let's show our food. So everybody show what kind of food you have there. So just a second. Yeah, everybody, okay. And somebody actually asked, what are the benefits of X-Culture? So let me actually list them very quickly. So 1, you gain international business experience. So you will complete a real business project with proper training and guidance in a team of international team members. Second, you will find friends all around the world. So people often become very close friends. My kids are still in contact with the team members from a few years ago when they participated. We have a very nice tight group. Like somebody's asking, how do you get on the panel? Well, the people here on the panel are all former X-Culture participants, and they liked X-Culture so much that they stayed with us and essentially became X-Culture I guess, employees, partners would be a better
Coaches,
word.
yeah.
Yes, so each of them is responsible for a different direction. So some of them help us manage our social media, some of them run training, others are responsible for helping students with all kinds of things. So organize webinars, invite guest speakers, so do all kinds of things.
Summer in the hills, those hazy days I do remember. We were running still, had the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change.
Hello everyone, I hope you all must be doing well. Today I, Pammi, along with Samriddhi, will take you all to the virtual tour of India.
Alright. Today we'll be visiting 3 sites, mainly. Let's start with Axo, where the largest non-obelisk stands.
Is Romania. Romania is this small country here. Actually, it's not that small, but it looks like a fish. It's here in the southeastern part of Europe.
No one is too small to make a difference. You know, we're a small company. We're a startup company for just 4 years, and yet we've reached #1. So no one is too small to make a difference. No one is too small to change the world. No one is too small to achieve greatness. Never be afraid of being small, except when being small means that you are having a very small sense of passion and purpose.
Connect with people, be bold, be confident, trust in yourself, and no matter what happens, always remember your values, remember the values of your family, and put in perspective what really matters.
Most important reason why we do it. So, I mean, obviously, we want you to sort of document your progress so that we can see it, and we want you to reflect on your experiences. All these pieces of work become parts of your portfolio. And so I've been coaching a bunch of students who have been applying for both, sending their applications to universities, but also applying for jobs.
Help improve FSI's impression among the locals, and they can provide guidance to adapt to Singapore's education system.
So thank you. I hope you guys enjoy our video. And
They're so great. Aren't they great, you guys? Dr. Aurora's, aren't they great? I'm so proud of them.
This was great stuff. Very nice. And very nicely put together. So great.
Yes.
Yeah, whoever worked on it, great job, guys. Great job, everyone. It was very nice.
now that we summarize what we did for this semester, I also want to invite Tejas and Leon to share some pictures of the students and codes that we had throughout the semester. So Tejas, Leon.
Perfect. Again, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so this is just like a very small record of all of the images that we had this semester. So let us start from right in the beginning. We had the virtual picnic up first. You guys have already seen the pics from there. Yeah, this was a very, very fun event, very electric. We had a lot of fun looking at all the food that you guys had presented that day. Then we had our cooking shows. We had Elena with the Czech pies. We had churros, we had tacos, we had milk tarts. It was really fun. Then we had the virtual tours. We visited 3 different nations this year. We visited Romania, India, and Ethiopia. And we saw some really amazing sights and very delicious food as well. The presentations took place next. So we had a lot of students who took part in the presentations, the virtual presentations, and we actually had our final event not too long ago. So here are a few photos from the videos that you guys submitted. So this was really cool. We had some for Radico, some for Zen, some for Troitsky. Here are some for CapSource, Dart Drones, and X-Culture Academy. Here are a few photos of the various global virtual teams. So you have various teams over here. I'm so sorry that I do not remember all of their numbers, but it was very cool seeing you all work together in such cohesion. Here are some more pics for you guys to look at. This was my team. I think the one on the right in the previous slide was also my team. Again, my team, and again, my team. We have a lot of photos of my teams. Okay, these are some more photos for you guys. You guys may see some familiar faces over here because of like them interacting very actively in Discord, and some new faces potentially. So now let's look at what the coaches were doing behind the scenes. We had a lot of meetings this year, and they were all quite interesting and quite fun. We had them every week on Saturday, and needless to say, they were really, really fun. We had a lot of meetings with the rest of the coaching gang as well, and we had a lot of performances that took place there. Finally, let's look at some of your traditional clothing. Now, this is something that we asked you guys to submit to us in the last week, and we have some really amazing responses. So here we have some really like beautiful photos of people from around the world wearing traditional garments. We have people in the student cohort, we have coaches. Here are some more photos from around the world, and a few more just to wrap it up. So it's really been a very fun experience for all of us. So thank you for coming along with us. And we would like to end with just a very small message for you all. Peace and love from our side, and the X-Culture symbol for you all. Thank you all for being a part of this journey, and peace and love.
Thank you very much, Tejas and Leon, for doing this. And thank you, the students, to share your photos too. It makes way better to show it too. And now we can move on. We will have the prizes for the coach tuition, right? So let me share my screen again. Just wait a minute. Let me see if I'm not showing too much. Okay. I can see. Well, I think that I did this. I don't know why I think. Can there we go. So for the price for the coach tuition, as you may say, we are all coaches. We all started to before being coached, we started as students, but we enjoyed so much the program, so we would like to stick together and stick with the program. So we became coaches, senior coaches, and even administrators, as I am now. So for today, we will give 3 prizes for 3 great students that had great performance, great peer evaluations, and also the coaches had, and I had some discussions, and we come up with the 3 best performers of this semester, okay? So the first one will get the full fee tuition for the coaching program. And I didn't talk to Dr. Vaz and Dr. V, but I think that they should have a talk with them too. So the first will get a full tuition and also 30 minutes with Dr. Vaz.
So, Rafael, do it the inverse. Do the number 3, number 2, then number 1.
Yeah, no, I just just summarize the price, but I will start with the third, okay?
Okay.
And the second one will get a half tuition for the coaching program plus 30 minutes with Dr. B. And the third will get just a half tuition for the coaching program, but it's still good, right? So let's start.
Mikhail, if I may, you can add for the number 3, 30 minutes with Dr. Anshu and Amit Arora. So we'd love to be a part of this program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, I will add that. Just wait. Let me take some
But
notes.
wait, there is more.
Yeah, and if you guys happen, whoever is the person, we would definitely invite that person to Washington, D.C. So that's something from our side.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. So the third person is Emilia Volke from the Netherlands. So congratulations, Emilia.
Amelia, send me your email, your phone number. I'll be in touch, okay?
Congratulations. The second one is Joanny Tan from Singapore. So you have tuition and you talk to Dr. B. You can send me an email and I can arrange the meeting, okay?
Yeah. He had an amazing presentation. This girl was on top of her game. Amazing presentation.
And the first place, let's make some
drum roll.
It's Rabia Hanif from Pakistan. Congratulations, Rabia.
Congratulations, yay!
You get a full tuition for the coaching program and also 30 minutes with us, okay? Congratulations.
Amazing. Okay, and I know for me, that 30 minutes is probably gonna double, if not longer. So maybe schedule, Annette's laughing because she knows how long I can talk. Probably Dr. Voss will be triple because he talks longer than me.
As much time as needed.
And for the third one, you're getting both Auroras. So I don't know how long will that be.
Exactly. So, and for those of you guys who did win, reach out to Raphael so we can give you the price of your subsidized tuition. It's not exactly half, it's actually less than half of the tuition, and I've worked it out with Professor Linden already. So we'll make sure that they get connected with the right people. So with Carlos, for example, so that they know how to register and they know what their fees are as opposed to everybody else. Okay, Raphael? Yeah.
Yes, okay. And now we have a shared table with the students and coaches. I want to invite Jaren to start. Are you there, Jaren?
Yep, so I'm gonna be very scuffed because I'm sick right now, but I'm gonna power through this for all of you.
Oh.
Okay, so we have 6 speakers today, which will be Francis, Rabia, Chris, Yana, Ania, and Ankit. So if we could bring them up to the panelists as well.
Francis.
Well, I just
Yana.
my screen. Rabia. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Great.
Rabia. I think that I promote everyone. Chris, I forgot about Chris, sorry.
My mic.
Yes,
hello, Francis, you can start.
Hi. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Francis, and I'm from the Philippines, and I'm from Team 713. Next slide. Okay, so as you can see, I'm 17 years old, and I'm 5'6". I'm quite small. I'm from the Philippines once again. So how was the experience? First, it was fun. how was it fun? Yeah, we actually talked a lot with the senior coaches doing the report. The report was something new for me. So yes, I never expected the program to be fun since it was a course, it was a business course. I thought it would be tedious or something like that. It was unique. It was something that I never experienced before. I never hoped to experience. It was new because I never actually wrote a business report in my life. I'm a STEM student, so I study science and those kind of stuff. So what we did was actually like imply what I know in research. So minimum 40 sources, so those kind of stuff. It was tiring because the time for me it was our team meetings was held by 10 o'clock at night, and there were times that we had to do the report and it was 1 a.m. for me, and I'd wake up by 5:30 to get to class. And it's gonna be definitely memorable for me. It was a really great experience and it was something that I will never forget. Next slide. Okay, so what helped me go through the program? First, the senior coaches. Um, at the first week that I joined X Culture, I knew nobody. So I only knew Ania because I got to this program through her. Then she introduced me to Jaren and so on and so forth. We talked a lot, and then this Discord group, it happened. It kind of happened, and then I was informed of who my coach was, and she was Leon. She's part of the reason I'm doing this right now. She told me that I had to make it up to her since um yeah, since last time there was this reflection thing, and she was asking me to do it. She messaged me, Francis, you need to talk. You need to talk. And I was like, no, I'm too shy to do that. And then I waited for the last 2 minutes to raise my hand, and it ended. And then I was like, fine, I'll make it up to you. I'll talk during the last phase. Yeah, and it was fun interacting with the senior coaches, talking with Emily. Sometimes I catch her on Discord. And yeah, the coaches. Yeah, I think the coaches, yeah, Vedant, Ankit, yeah, those guys actually really helped me go through the program. It made it more fun, and whenever we had questions, we could always go to them as well. And especially my team members. My team members, at first we were all really shy. We never really took the time to know each other that much. We kept a professional relationship, and then we didn't know that X Culture would be like one of the toughest clients. We picked X Culture because we thought it would be unique and those kind of stuff. And then we were informed that it was one of the hardest clients this year, just they wanted to expand. And we were quite happy to hear that we made it to the live presentations and all that. Next is the other students. So you can see Yana, Rabia, those guys. Uh, excuse me. Daniel. Those were some of the people that helped me go through the program. There were many other students, but it would take too long. And most importantly, last but not least, my stock knowledge. As I said before, I never really wrote a report about a business, so I went through all my experience, like writing so many scientific research. So yeah, that's what helped me go through the program. Next slide.
Actually, Liva is saying that you forgot about her.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, so the things I learned, maybe, I guess, how to work in GVTs. It was something I never really hoped to imagine, or I never really thought that in my life I would talk to that many people from that many different countries. It was something new to me. Of course, it was unlike working with Filipino people who you knew had this stereotypical personalities. It was something new. And of course, I learned really good time management because in the day I had online classes from 7:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Then I have to do my school works from 12 noon until night. And then from about 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., I have my meetings and then report writing from 10 p.m. onwards. So I really learned how to manage my time really well. Next is, yeah, how to write a report. I won't repeat that since it would be too redundant. Next slide, please. The values I got, professional respect. In that aspect, there's this, you will eventually learn that there's a line that in between what you can say to a person when it comes to the report. I mean, we all know that we have your opinions on what should be written and what shouldn't be. So that's it. Excellence and character. Um, yes, in whatever you do, you must manifest excellence and always show great character to the people around you. Next is patience, because you need to finish everything on time and you need to wait for your members to finish their parts. Judgment. Good judgment will always help you in the future. So that's about it. Thank you. If you want to talk to me, then there's my socials. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day, afternoon, and night.
So next we have Rabia. Is Rabia around? Rabia.
I'm trying to turn my camera on.
Hello, Rabia.
Can you give me a minute, please? I'm trying to turn on my camera.
I think I'm not listening.
Yeah, her connection is very weak. So maybe we want to go to the next person.
Yep, we can skip her first and come back to her after. Yeah, we can go with Chris first then and come back to Rabia after that.
All right, so hello everyone, I'm Chris and some of you might know me from the virtual tour. And I'm here to present my experience with Xculture. And before I start, let me tell you that I'm so going to miss this project. And it was like 4 months, they were 4 months that were like the best of my life because I managed to meet a lot of people and I've actually managed to develop myself. And please go to the next slide. So this is my team. We called ourselves Team Gambit for strategically thinking. And I'm not sure whether they are here or not, but even if they are not, let me tell you that I love you guys and you're amazing. And I'm so glad that I got to work with you. Actually, they're good friends. I see them as good friends, and I'm actually quite glad that we were picked like this. And we never, I don't think we ever quarreled or had fights or something. And it was actually smooth sailing right after meeting them. And yeah, we picked Novabrink. And because it sounded quite a fun challenge. And please go to the next slide.
Hold on, just give me a moment. My computer does not want to work all of a sudden. Yeah. Okay.
And I've prepared something like a GPT's timeline. This is what Xculture was like for me in the whole 8 weeks of the practical phase. In the first 2 weeks, I felt like let's have fun and win this. I was actually quite I was looking forward to it and felt like, yeah, I can win anything and we're going to make a perfect report and that kind of things. I think that some of you also felt like that. In the next 2 weeks, I felt like we were on the right track and our ideas were good and could work. And in the 5th and the 6th weeks, you know, when you get that sudden surge of inspiration and you feel like something doesn't really sound well and you should delete that and change it. Well, that's what I felt like. I saw that maybe our report would be way too long and we had to delete some stuff. Then for the message part in the marketing section, I felt like yeah, these slogans wouldn't work for NovaBrink, and then I changed them, and then I finally find out that no, okay, it was better the first time. So yeah, it was that kind of let's change and let's do it again. And in the last 2 weeks, we were back on track with a better report and with a coffee addiction because we I worked quite till late in the evening, not because I was forced to, but because I liked it so much that I forgot what time it was. And yeah, at the end we felt like, yeah, we pulled it off, and we were personally I was quite proud of my results and content with it. Here is something about the coaches. They have amazing feedback, and I would like to do a shout out to Jaren and my other coach and our other coach, Miriam. You guys were amazing, and thank you for guiding us. I really love your feedback, and I think that because of you, our report improved. I think that every senior coach were great friends. Leon, Tejas, Ania, Annette, you guys were amazing, and I'm glad to have met you. They were very friendly and very open to suggestions. On Discord, there was a discussion about creating a movie night or a game night, and even though I couldn't attend all of them, it felt like yeah, it's something else. And next slide. So the social media platforms on the Facebook, Leon's updates always came in handy, and I'm kind of an airhead, so I'm not always up with the news, and sometimes forgot a lot of things. But because I've saw the updates and posts and updates on Facebook, I felt like, okay, I know what's happening here. Yeah, and it was the same thing with the emails. They always came in handy. And Discord, I'm actually glad I joined the Discord group, because I managed to create a lot of new friendships, and I hope that I'm going to keep being friends with them from now on. And yeah, that's it. Next slide. To sum it all up, X-Culture was an amazing experience, and when I say amazing, it's obviously amazing. I loved it, and I love the coaches. I love the whole business thing. I love pretty much everything, and I can't wait to come back as a coach. Thank you.
So should we shift to Rabia now, or we'll proceed to Yana first? Is Rabia?
I don't know. I don't see Rabia anymore.
Okay.
She's me, please. If you could just like promote her to the panelist.
Okay.
So
we can continue with Yana, so we can move on. We are already
we'll go with
late.
Yana first. Yep, sure.
Hey Yana, you can go right there.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Yana Turkwani. I'm 16 and I'm from India, and this is my X-Culture journey. So let's get back into the platform. Starting from my team, we were seven in total, and this is a picture of 6 of us. My team had all kinds of members, including the slackers, the hardworking ones, and the ones who had great ideas. Overall, I had an amazing, amazing experience, and I'm truly grateful to be a part of such. Next slide. So moving forward to highlights of my Ex-Culture journey, working in a GV. This was, of course, one of the major parts of the program. And even though it was so exciting, there were times of extreme burnouts and stress loads. But at the end of the day, if the report's good, it's all good. International business. Being a STEM student, international business and business is something I have never, ever dealt with. But the theoretical phase modules and the coaches were so helpful that it helped me a lot to get through the program. And it was incredibly amazing at the end. Learning about cultures, not just from my teammates, but also from all those people I got to connect to from the social media groups. I am loaded with knowledge about their food, their music, their culture, and even their work ethics and behavioral traits were something to learn about. Discord and Facebook. These are the two places I have made the most memories from. I don't even remember the amount of chats we have and the amount of people I connected to. Shout out to Jaren and Tejas for moderating the server, and shout out to Leon for creating such well-thought posts on Facebook. It made the whole experience so much fun. Making friends. As my team was weighed more on the professional side, but I engaged through a lot of students through these social media groups, and Rabia, Daniel, Francis, Chris, Labia, and all of those kids were amazing. And I'm never gonna stop talking to you because this was the best part and best 4 months of my life. Next slide. Things which I learned. Report writing. Again, as a STEM student, I had never written a report before. And I remember thinking in the beginning of the practical phase, how is this gonna work? But it did, and it did work incredibly well. And this was one of the most exciting parts because I remember pulling 3 consecutive all-nighters for designing the report and just going deeper and deeper into the research because it was such an addictive and interesting task. Dealing with people. Yes, I had some of the problematic members, and yes, there were members who increased the workload and stress of the team, but I think it would not be as fruitful if it wasn't for them. Leading and planning. Leading is a task of such fun and as well as such responsibility. It did add a lot of workload to me, and it was a lot more hectic for me at times, but I will consider it incomplete if I wasn't the team leader because I have learned so much about planning. I have learned how significant it is to be kind and considerable and supportive and be patient at times throughout the program. Moving to the fun side, I am sick but not tired of looking at all those delicious food images and all those places that students have shared on the social media groups and my teammates have shared with me. And music, I do not even remember the count of songs I have been recommended or I have shared with people. Raphael and I have jammed to music on endless hours on Discord PC. And it was just so fun to be exposed to such a side of the world, which I would not have been able to if it wasn't for Ex-Culture. So I'm truly, truly grateful. Next slide. Thank you so much. I have made unforgettable memories, and I cannot appreciate enough my random decision of taking part in this cool-looking program. This 4 months have been the best 4 months of my life yet, and I'm gonna miss every bit of it. Thank you. I'm done.
You guys gonna make us cry. So, I'm curious, managing these programs is very, very time consuming, effort consuming. And sometimes you think, why do I do it? And here is why.
Yes. This is our payback. This is how we get compensated, knowing that we made a difference in people's lives around the world. Because the thing is, like, we know that somewhere along the way, you're going to take what we taught you and you're going to teach it to somebody else. And then eventually that person will teach it to somebody else. And hopefully someday we will be a much better civilization because Dr. Vas and I invested a lot of energy and hours in you guys.
So move on, we are a little bit late. Can we continue, Rabia and the other course? Can you guys summarize and be a little bit more faster to talk, please.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes, very low though, Rabia. If you can come closer to the audio, that would be great.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Hi, I'm Rabia and I'm going to take you all through the Chronicles of Rabia and X Culture, where unexpected turns of events led Rabia to join X Culture, where everything turned out to be complete opposite of what she expected. Next slide. Rabia's random decision of applying to X Culture. Will it turn out to be her best decision or worst nightmare? Next slide. Let's have a recap of her time in X Culture. I learned so much about how international business work, how research are conducted, how reports are written, and how you manage a virtual team. The main thing that I learned out of X Culture is how to communicate with people. My communication skills got so much better, and I even learned how to communicate with people who are not that smart, so like win-win situation. Talking to so many people and having discussions with them, you learn to accept differences among individuals and their beliefs. And definitely X Culture helped me in accepting people as how they are. Last but not the least, I met so many incredible people here. I'm glad I got to know them. They helped me, motivated me, and not gonna lie, they really entertained me, and I'm thankful for them. Next slide. But was it all this easy? The answer to that is no. I was very stressed. I made mistakes. I had to redo things. I used to be sleep deprived because there was so much work to do. There were times when I told my coach that I want to cry because things are not turning out the way I planned. And yes, the amazing kid you see right here on the screen is actually my coach, Tejas. Next slide. But in the end, I would say it was all worth it. Loss for the words, but the heart is full. I'm glad that I joined X Culture. It truly was an unforgettable experience.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rabia, and congratulations again for your prize. So now next is Ania, right?
Slides.
Sorry.
No, very creative presentation.
Yeah, oh, very beautiful, right?
I almost shed a tear. Those were very beautiful memories.
Hello,
So
Ankit,
now
are you
we'll
there?
move on to Ankit.
So am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. You can go.
So hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. It's me Ankit from Nepal. I'm 17 years old and I'm really happy to share my experience with X Culture over here. At first, I'd like to thank Dr. Vas, Dr. B, Rafael, and all my fellow coaches for considering me as a part of this wonderful organization. I still remember the day when I joined the coaching program. It was like a little bit nervousness, anxious, and was so much excited, but wasn't sure whether I will be able to complete the coaching program successfully. But I did it, and I'm really happy for what I did. There were some ups and downs when going through the coaching program. Like at the point, I thought to give up, but the motivation and health support you all guys provided me really helped me to stick with the program. Over the past 10 months, X Culture has become like a second family for me, where I share my sorrow, happiness, my ideas, and everything. I also got chance to learn so many new things and also to foster my skill, which wasn't able through my school life. And I will always remember the chit chats I had in the Discord server. Whenever I used to join that, my sadness, depression, all used to fly away within a second. And the listening, whether it was talking with the people over there, listening music, or playing truth out there. I would also like to thank Leon, who was my senior coach and helped me in every step whenever I was in problem, and also answering all the silliest questions I had over the semester, and got chance to learn so many new things from her and all the coaches. Like conducting live webinars coaching GVTs and also creating the advice sheet was the completely new experience from me, and hope it will really help me in the future. And the two things I learned from the X culture, the most important things is to believe on yourself. Like everyone says, you should have believe on yourself. So believe on yourself, you can achieve everything in this world. And the second is communication. As Dr. Vas tell in every video, communication is the most important thing. So you should always communicate, whether you are coach or the student. Communication is the most important thing. It has to resolve every problem you had in your team or wherever. At last, I'd like to thank all the great people over here. It was a pleasant experience to be here in the X culture. Like I'll never forget these 10 months I spent here, and it will be the best part of my life. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ankit. Thank you very much. Ania, are you there?
Hi, so enjoy the presentation I made 15 minutes before this. So next slide, please, Jaron. So hi, I'm Ania Nang, aka Sin Sin. That's my nickname. You can only call me that if you know the meaning and if you can write it. So I'm an incoming grade 11 IB student in the Philippines. I absolutely love sports. Like, I dare you to name any sport, and I probably play it or at least know how to, except for tennis, because that goes against my main sport, which is badminton. I also am very artsy, so I touch on most aspects of art, including music and songwriting. And on the topic of music, I do listen to music like 25/8. So like even while I'm sleeping, I have a speaker back there that's playing music. Usually, even while I'm doing meetings, there's background music, but I didn't turn it on today. So I also like watching anime, but I'm busy, so it's one episode a week. Next slide. So my X Culture experience. As a student, I was really amazed at X Culture because I didn't know such a program existed. I love how I got to meet new friends from all over the globe, and more so I did it while learning about business. My family is that typical Chinese family, so learning business was just in my blood, and X Culture helped me grow personally and professionally, and I could not be more grateful to Dr. Voss and Dr. Baumanes and to everyone else who helped me while I was a student. Just to add on my student experience, being a student really taught me how to manage my time wisely, especially that time when I was a student and a coach at the same time. Like that was a bit crazy for me because I was also adjusting to my online school at that time as well. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know, I enjoyed being busy. So as a coach, I met even more amazing people who I'm happy to call one of my close friends today. Even if coaching was stressful and chaotic, we did it together, and that just makes the experience a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ania. Thank you, everyone that shared your experience. And before I give the mic to Dr. B and Dr. Vas to close the session, I also want to share one more video that it wasn't planned, but I want to share. Okay.
Okay.
Just wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Thank you, Dr. Vas and Dr. B, for your amazing hard work and massive effort throughout this semester.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vas and Dr. B, for your effort and hard work for the successful completion of this wonderful semester, and also for the betterment of professional life of thousands of people all over the world. It wasn't possible without your guidance and help for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vas and Dr. B, for everything you've done for this project, for senior coaches, or for students. You both are such an inspiration, and I just wanted to thank you as this semester ends. Thank you, Dr. Vas and Dr.
I would just like to say thank you very much for all of the knowledge that you have given us. You have always been a reservoir of expertise and guidance all along, be it for the coaches or for the students. So I would just like to say thank you very much for that. You both are sources of inspiration for all of us, and the work that you do is truly mesmerizing and amazing. So thank you very much for that, and have a lovely day.
Hello, Dr. Voss and Dr. B. First off, I would like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for everything you have done for X-Culture, with students, coaches, faculty, and more. You allowed us to grow to even higher limits. You allowed me to become a better person, reach higher, and make new friends. You also allowed me to experience an unimaginable experience with X-Culture. I never knew that this experience was possible, so thank you. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for enlightening us. You made me a better person, and without you, I have no idea what kind of a 15-year-old girl I would be. I can't imagine my future without X-Culture, so I can't wait to make more memories with you.
I would like to say a huge thank you to Dr. B and Dr. Voss. You guys have done so much for the X-Culture program, of course, and it obviously would not have been possible at all without either of you. Thank you so much for your support and making this program possible for the many students who participate. I know firsthand, and I'm sure many of the students, if not all of them, can relate that this program has had such a tremendous impact on the professional and personal development of its participants, and it's really so beneficial to everyone. So once again, just thank you so much for making this opportunity possible for everyone, because it really is just such an incredible program, and it's so great, and we're really appreciative for all the hard work and your dedication for this program, and for allowing all of us to participate and helping even more people access this program and be able to participate in the X-Culture experience. It's really so incredible. So once again, thank you.
Hi, Dr. B and Dr. Voss. Thank you so much for creating this amazing program with such a fantastic environment of support and encouragement. Your support and mentorship has done so much for my personal and professional development, and I will truly never be able to thank you enough for everything you have done for me. So thank you. I love you both so much.
I just want to thank you from the absolute bottom of my heart for making the world a better place. The love and passion you put into X-Culture is the reason we are also dedicated to this amazing program. And just on a personal note, thank you so much for making such a massive impact on my life. Without you both, I would not be the person I am today, and I would not have grown as much as I have. So thank you.
This is an appreciation note to Dr. Voss and Dr. B.
Oh, hello.
It's rendering.
Oh, I think it's connected.
How do we do a group hug in a virtual Zoom? I think I need a hug.
You need a hug. Here's a hug, boss.
Did they just decide to hug right now?
Well, I don't know why it stopped.
Yeah, it's okay. We get it.
Okay, we got the message. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr.
Let me try again here. Yeah, I don't know.
Appreciation note to Dr. Voss and Dr. B. I am entirely grateful to belong to the X-Culture family. Because of you, us from around the world have come to appreciate the world as a one global village. Because of the love and commitment you have for the program, millions of people from around the world have come to love and see you as parent figures, mentoring us and guiding us through this journey called life. Because of you, many businesses have seen the light of day. Because of you, many people have become friends, family, business partners, and all that. We do not take that for granted. We are entirely grateful. Thank you. Peace and love.
So here's
in the morning, so we still have a day, to work on, and now, yeah, I guess for a few hours I will not be able to focus on anything else.
You guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than this is this is such a labor of love, you guys. Like, if I could give up my job and just do this, and I've told this to Dr. Voss so many times, like, if I can just do this and help you guys, like, become responsible, amazing leaders so that we could have a better world, I would invest my life in that. Of course, I still have to pay my mortgage, so this is the best we can do. But, you know, the pleasure, I mean, really, and it's Dr. Voss, right? This is his dream. Do you know how many years this man chased me to run this program? And I kept saying, no, 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 no. And it wasn't until the pandemic happened where I thought I was going to lose my job. Well, I did lose my job, but then I very quickly got another one, that I said to him, you know what? I think I'm ready to take it on, and let's see what I can do. And the transformation, and really, I mean, I had a vision, but you guys executed it. You executed it. And the experience, the transformation that I went through because of you guys, and then the challenges that was thrown at me in addition, and then I had to throw it on you guys, and the transformation that you all went through because of what I had to go through. Like, you don't even see it, but we journeyed a mountain together. And like, you guys are so amazing. Like, we did this as a family. We did this as a community. It wasn't just me or Dr. Voss.
Yeah,
you know,
that's precisely
family.
And it's a two-way street, so to speak. I mean, we are also learning as we are going, and so because of you, it's a new experience for us too. Those of you who don't know, when Dr. B says it was a lot of work, in addition, Dr. B this semester, this last season, she worked for 2 universities. So she had 2 jobs as a professor at 2 different schools. And in addition, she did all of this. So I don't know, Leilani, how you managed your time and where did you find that time? So, but
It's
yeah,
them.
that's the team.
It's
the
them.
team.
I mean, I literally had to sit down with Raphael and tell him, like, Raphael, I need you to help me. Right,
Yeah.
Raphael? And I
Right.
said the same thing to Annette. I'm like, I need you guys to help me because I'm drowning and
Yeah.
I need you to pull me up. And they did it, you know, with Ania and Emily and Jared and Tejas and Leon. And so many of you guys showed up for each other. And really that's what's amazing from my vantage point, is how you guys held each other up and how you were present and really took care of each other through the storm that the crazy shit show that we all really went through this past semester.
And in fact, you know what, Leilani, I'm thinking now, so everyone here on the admin team, for all of us, it's in addition to all the other things we do. Like, for example, all the meetings I have with Raphael, it would be after like 6 p.m. The reason for that, because he has a full-time job. And so all these extra hundreds of hours that he put in it this semester was in addition. Then you look at everyone else, they have school, they have other things, they have whatever. I remember there was military training for Jaron, I believe it was. And then there was also this ER thing that he did. And then, you know, so everybody here, it's not just, you know, it's not like we do it for a living. It's what we do in addition to whatever we do to pay our bills. So which makes it even more amazing. Yeah.
Labor of love. That's all I gotta say.
That's what keeps us running. So yeah, let's do it even better next semester. And I think we still have a lot of room where we can continue growing. So
yeah. So this is signing out. Peace and love to everybody. Should we do a picture?
Group hug. Oh yeah, let's do the
Hug,
picture.
group picture.
You know, but it's the end,
Okay,
so let's
turn
do like the
on your camera. Turn on your camera.
Rock and roll, rock and roll. So yeah.
I don't know how to do that. Oh, that. I can't do that.
Leilani,
The traditional way.
Taking the picture. Raphael, join in. I'll take the picture because I'm way too sick for this. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Go Ex-Culture.
Now you do one. Now you do one. I'll take one.
5.
Taking the photo. Is someone taking the photo?
Yeah.
Switching places.
Cheers.
Done.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Peace and love to everyone.
And the peace.
Yes, friendship. Friendship. Yeah, I love you guys.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.